Welcome to BaldHeaded Metal, guys, and welcome back to another reaction. This time around to a band called Jungle Rot with their song Total Extinction. Now, if you don't know who Jungle Rot is, I also recently discovered them maybe a year or two ago when I was really in the mood to hear more bolt thrower style death metal. And if anybody knows, I fucking love bolt thrower. So Jungle Rot really took the reins for me on that, along with a band called Asphyx. Now, they have released a new song. I'm super excited for this because I love their particular sound of old school death metal. So let's see what it's all about and let's jump into this song. By the way, if I don't like it, anybody who's new to this channel, you'll know that I'm going to express my point of view 100%, but I'll try to be respectful to the band while I do it. But I have a doubt that I'm not going to like this. Let's see this, please.
Back to peace form. Tragic has been our story. Do you believe we can be saved? Catapulting for death. Humanity's closing breath.
Yeah, this is the classic sound from Jungle right away. What I like about this band is something actually the vocalist himself said. He said, "We are the meat and potatoes of death metal." They were that classic death metal sound, and that is true. And anytime you want to go back to a classic death metal sound that's still being done today, you go to Jungle Rot, and it's very clear with this song that we're getting it here. Something we got with Corpse Grinder, something we got with Cannibal Corpse, Asphyx. All these bands are really playing the old school death metal, and I fucking love it because their riffs, despite being very, very heavy, they have this catchiness to them. And this so far song is not as catchy as some of their previous songs they've released in their late, like past albums, but it has that classic staple sound of Jungle Rot. So far, I'm enjoying it. It's simplistic, but it's simplistic in a good kind of way for me personally.
Slowly fades away. It's every man for himself. Grateful, but speaks on up below. I don't believe we can be saved. When all is said and done, entire species gone. There's no one left to hate. Extinction is a fight.
Well, that was a short song. Yeah, this is probably one of the shortest songs I've done in a while on this channel. And what I gotta say about it, it looks like, first of all, I'm with this kind of sound. Am I totally blown away by this? Perhaps not. But I love sometimes just like the comfort food of heavy metal. I love going back to this kind of music. And it looks like Jungle Rot not only going back to their sound, but they're going to the old school sound of Jungle Rot that they had before the Horror Awaits album, I believe. So that really more old school sound, but with better production. And I love that kind of like change up in the riff when it has that heaviness to it. I love what they're going for so far with this album. particularly with this song. But I don't know if this was the best single to show right off the bat. I always talk about that. That I feel like choosing a proper single for your album is very important to really give a good taste for somebody who's never discovered your band. Because most people who are going to hear, I think, your single are actually going to be people who have never heard of you. So I feel like you should have released perhaps a more addictive or longer song or a better example of what the whole album is going to be. Because probably within the framework of a whole album, this is going to be a good song or a change up or a break from something else that's going to be happening. Whereas on its own, it might not have the same kind of legs. I do like the visualization of it. I thought it was really cool. I didn't totally get all the lyrics because I was so focused on the music and it just happened so fast. But for me, I tend to go to these kinds of bands all the time because they're so much easier to listen to when you're on the go, you're moving around. If you're half paying attention because you're like washing dishes or cleaning, you're doing these kinds of things and listen to the music, you really can dive into it. But something like, let's say, Persephone or Bellacore, it requires a lot more attention because you can miss those transitions in the music because there's so much intricacy in the music. That's the reason why I have moods where I listen to something that's more progressive or more technical, or something that's a little more simplistic and just old school and heavy. I have my moods when I go for those different ones, unless it's something like Rust in Peace, where I know this album literally it's imprinted in my head from beginning to the end, where I just know every riff and every line that's coming in, or something like Painkiller. But that being said, I enjoyed this single. I was not blown away by this single. I am excited for the new album. I am super excited to hear that Jungle Rot is releasing a new album. Their previous record wasn't my favorite. I think Horror Awaits Stands is my favorite. Terror Regime is really great. But I feel like a lot of people don't know Jungle Rot. And I will wholeheartedly promote this band because of they fill the void that was left by Bolt Thrower. Because when Bolt Thrower fell apart and the singer formed his own band, Memoriam, which I don't think is as good, I really felt this void that I couldn't get that old school death metal sound that was specific to Bolt Thrower. And Jungle Rot was very close in its style. And then I discovered Asphyx, which is another band very close in style. And I really, really love those particular bands. I tend to get very addicted to certain songs of those bands. But I would love to hear from you guys, just to hear me like chatting on about and going crazy. I would love to hear from you as well, kind of what you thought of this particular song. I would recommend for you, if you guys enjoy this, I will leave down in the comments below perhaps a link to another song from them, like Worst Case Scenario, I think is a great, great song to check out from Jungle Rot, those who are new fans to this band. And for the old school fans, kind of where do you stand on this particular single? Do you feel like me that they should have probably picked a better single to show off to people at first, at least the first step into it? And I'm actually going to check out, maybe perhaps there was another single from that they released that I didn't get a chance to get to. But with that being said, guys, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe out there and keep it metal.